Hello everyone, this is Arafound playing Dungeon Breaker, and today we are starting Chapter 3, Ravaltiana. As you may recall if you've been watching, that is the name upon which Alec invokes when he does his monster taming stuff. Last time, while they were exploring the ruins outside the capital, Alec and Tina found a shrine with some kind of a sealing stone on it, fought off a monster. Interlopers from Duke Bastarche, who is shaping up to be an antagonist, just showed up, tried to take the stone from them. A mysterious girl showed up and knocked them all out. Or worse, we're not really sure. And those who were still standing fled. When Alec and Tina came back to report, well, Celsia told them they did well. Karen, Tina's older sister, was trying to get them to go back to the village and let her take care of the rest. They decided to stick around, which Celsia is pleased with. Karen, not so much. But she slipped into Alec's room at night, and after basically distracting him and knocking him out, she took the stone from his things and altered his memory. So there's something going on here. In any case, we have Alec yawning and saying good morning. Here's Celsia the princess. She's asking if he didn't sleep well yesterday. I'm sure I slept like a rock, but I feel weirdly exhausted. Like at your age, you should have more. Yeah, I'm always full of energy. Like, what are you saying? You're a lot younger than I am. She does not like being called young or little or treated like a child. She's not as young as she looks, but I think it was mentioned there's 2 years difference between them, so she's probably 2 years younger. But even so. It's like, no, I didn't say anything. I need to be careful, she reacts badly to any words related to little. Is showing up, saying good morning. Here's Karen, she's also saying good morning. But before meals, there's someone who wants to meet with her. So we can let them leave. It's basically only unimportant merchants who want to meet with her. It's like, well, this is Roy Veldandel, the captain of that's basically the Nazareth Holy Knights, Paladins, I suppose you'd say, which report directly to the king. He's been waiting, he is eager to meet with the princess. It's like, wait, this father? It's like, I'll meet him. Like, I'll eat later so you can wait. So that changed her tune pretty quickly. She's the daughter of the previous queen who we're not really sure what happened to her. It's not mentioned, but it's kind of implied she died. There's now a new queen. The new queen does not like her, so she's been kind of persona non grata around the court. And so any hint of attention from her father has her excited. Alec's complaining because he's hungry. Tina's telling him, just deal with it. Okay, here's Roy. He seems pleasant enough. It's like, okay, and you're Alec, and that must be Tina. So, on the king's orders, Roy is going to be investigating the ruins separately from Alec and Tina. I guess you can't investigate together, but for the sake of the kingdom and His Majesty, let's cooperate. It's like, okay, that sounds good. Celsia tells them to get along forever. because I haven't had breakfast yet. He excuses himself and prepares to leave. He's pleased that this has gone smoothly. They went to the Duke, but he drove them off. Saying, let's meet in the ruins. So he's gone. Celsia's telling him that, I just told you to get along with him. He's like, yep, I get it. We'll cooperate and investigate. You fool. Don't cooperate. Don't let them get the better of you. Apparently she doesn't like how put together and all he looks and wants to make him the loser. So Tina says, is that okay? He seems like a really good person. But she hates she hates the clergy. They're always talking a good talk, but they're up to something. And Alex says, yeah, you have a point. And the priest in our village was always drinking and could barely get his sermons together. It's like, yep, we're on the safe wavelength. And she especially doesn't like that they went to see the Duke before coming to her. And she is determined that the two of them had better outdo him. I'm going to later tease saying, I don't think this is really a matter of winning and losing, but... Karen is cautioning him that although the Paladins officially work for the king, they have a lot of influence. This is basically the Vatican in normal use, but basically the religion's central authority has a lot of influence on them. Tells him to be careful. And of course he asks Tina, what is this Ho-Ocho? I think it's normally translated Vatican. Tina asks Karen. He's saying he was asking her quietly so he wouldn't embarrass himself. It's a little late for that now. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out a better word for this than Vatican, because it's not the Vatican, but they're the organization in the Holy Land Dumandia that the religion that runs the religion, Nazare, which is normally Nazareth. The priests in Kana village also reported them. Anyway, they have a lot of influence, including in this country. It's like, huh, that seems like kind of an amazing thing. And so you need to be adequately cautious. Anyway, he's basically being told to keep that in mind. So last time we got another Jewel of Raldatiana. That means you can go up to 5 party members now. So that's 3 monsters. Let's take Carl again. She's behind Hero and Lizard Armor now, as well as the 2 lowest other monsters. Okay, we have a scene in Tina's room, it looks like. It seems there's threads coming loose on his top garment. Must have happened in the battle earlier. She's telling him to take it off so she can stitch it up. It's no big deal. She's insisting. But alright already, here it is. And she's done already. If it gets damaged again, come see her. Okay, we have the ingredients to make another cooking item. You'll notice that at first that does not give us even the name of what is formed, and not a description either. So, we need to actually make something to find out what it is. This is Voodoo Voodoo Jelly. So Voodoo Voodoo is like a wobbling kind of sound effect. This is one of the things we can sell to the monster parts merchant guy. Kind of a monster, I think that's dust powder. Let's make one of these. And this is basically soy mochi. And that's pretty good. It revives someone and restores full HP. This looks like another scene already. She's asking if he has recovery medicine, those tales that let you warp out of dungeons, antidotes. Saying to stop making such a fuss, just... I understand, just let me deal with it. It's like, you like to call me kind of dumb and an airhead, but you forget things a lot too. Us dummies have to help each other out. See if there's anything new from Karen. She's asking how the ruins investigations are going. I'm getting the feeling I haven't been training enough so far. Like, well, understanding that is an important part of being competent, basically. As Alec's teacher, she's going to teach him something new. But what she's about to teach him is a secret among secrets, basically. Don't tell anyone. Like, okay? As you know, monster tamers use monsters. Get monster skills, and can almost do things like magician. But monster tamers can also pass skills to monsters. Using these Hiseki fragments, it's like secret stone, basically. She gives him one of these fragments. It's a pretty and transparent. Jojo. It's because monster tamers are on the side of humanity when they give monsters orders that they're permitted to use these basically supernatural powers. But if they're seen as allying more with monsters than with humans, they'll be seen as an enemy of humanity and bad things happen. Which is why things like this can't be allowed to be known to anyone outside of monster tamers. That's kind of scary. Having people be my enemies. Yes, this is something you might not normally think about because we're human, but people can be really scary. So that is a new ability we now have, although I'm pretty sure I only have the one stone, so I don't want to use it just yet. Yeah, there it is. One of those. And 16 of the skill learning items. Yeah, that's kind of rude, but also pretty true. She's saying basically that Alec's the kind of person who doesn't really think. He just kind of charges forward to his whatever his goal is without thinking it through. Of course, he says that's rather rude. He's like, I think about things and have worries and stuff. No, I didn't mean it like that. People overthink things when they do stuff. Things like how it would be easier to cut corners, or basically kiss up to people, or think that this person is lesser than I am. And how she's used to that sort of thing because she's always had to kind of be careful of the people around her. But he doesn't think about these things, he just does. And this is both a good thing and a bad thing about him. Guessing if that gave him something to think about? Huh. For as young as you look, you're sounding an awful lot like a nagging old lady. Unsurprisingly, she doesn't like that. It's like, when I say you're childish, you get mad. When I say you're an old lady, you get mad. What am I supposed to do? She tells him, don't say anything. Anyway, I'm going to take a quick look around town, and that's probably going to be it for now. I'll go from the bottom instead of the top this time. Okay, nothing new at the arena. Oh, there is something new here. He gave his usual intro about asking if we have anything to sell, but he's like, ah, perfect, you said you wanted a monster? Yeah, but what I'm looking for is a monster that will help me out in combat, not like fangs or claws or anything. He's like, yes, I know. You want a live monster, not a dead monster, and I've got one. And here we have the Samurai Master. He's telling him not to drag her around. And of course, he's talking her up as though he is talking about livestock, basically. Which is not surprising, but the girl monsters especially are basically human. So, yeah. Anyway, saying this monster won't listen to any monster tamer, but maybe you could handle her. She's objecting to the idea of submitting to a Westerner and talking about the pride of a samurai, basically, and running away. He's telling her, don't get cocky. Alec doesn't like that. He's like, what's this? You're being nice to monsters? Anyway, it's merchandise, so you should be more, handle it better, basically. Or you won't be able to sell. And he agrees to that part, so... And he's asking, so what happens if I don't buy her? It's like, well, considering my line of business... It's like, alright, I'll buy her. So, take good care of her until then. And he's basically wondering if there's a monster who could siphon off some of the fat in his belly. And Alex says, I think of plenty that would be willing to gouge out your belly. It's like, yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. And let's see if I have enough money for this. 20,000? Yeah. So I'm going to need to build up some more money before I can afford that. Anyway, on to the item shop. And she's saying he came at a good time. He's asking her what this is about. So anyway, this Phrygia person was looking for someone she could trust to help out, and Green thinks that Alec is just perfect for the job. Regia Druid. She's looking for someone to get back her wedding ring. It was stolen by bandits. And her husband's so mad at her that... Yeah, and her husband's so mad at her that they're at risk of getting divorced. He's apparently saying that it was taken because she didn't treasure it enough. Seems like kind of a problematic person. Alec thinks that's kind of excessive too. But she seems to not mind that part much. She's saying, well, it's the symbol of my bond, the symbol of her bonds, and it's her fault it was taken. Saying, I can't do anything to thank you, but please get the ring back. Bean is kind of quietly offering him the recovery medicine set. Like, okay. Don't worry about thanks. I help out people. People in need help each other out. I'll go to the bandits' place and get that ring back. Thanks him. Anyway, she has an idea where the bandits hang out, so I'll get it back as soon as I can. Let's see if I can make anything here yet. Nope, still don't have the ingredients. Interestingly, the shop's inventory has expanded, though it didn't specifically mention that. We have new accessories, we have some new recovery items. And let's see if there's a scene in the weapon shop. There is indeed. She's looking furious, but it's more of an intense expression, saying we've got new weapons and armor. Please buy them now, empty out your wallet. She gets kind of intense. She's like, hey, I need to be careful how I use my money. She's not amused with that. All of your money is intended to be used at my shop. There should be a law that says so. It's like, if there was a law that said that, I would leave the country. But we do indeed have no equipment here. So I should probably get a few things before heading to the dungeon. But for now, I think I'll stop that session here. So yes, this has been RFL playing Dungeon Breaker, and next time we'll head out to do some dungeon exploration. Hope to see you then.